Hey everybody, it's Garden Weirdos. It's starting to be spring around here in Georgia, so it's about time to start making hummingbird juice. And as you can see here, we use a clear plastic bottle. You want to use clear in the event that anything starts to grow or get funky inside the bottle. And it also makes it easier to decorate for the kids. And here you go. Fun to decorate. Good activity for kids. I don't have kids, but I am childish, and this was fun. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to actually make the nectar, save yourself some money, and it's incredibly easy. There's a bunch of different ways to go ahead and make your own hummingbird nectar, but this is the way I do it, and I found it to be really successful. Alright, so here's everything you're gonna need to make your own hummingbird juice at home. You need 8 cups of water, right from the tap and cool is fine, and 2 heaping cups of sugar. First, we're gonna add this to our pot. And then we're gonna get 2 big cupfuls of sugar. It doesn't have to be overflowing or even all the way up to the top, but I like to put it in a separate side bowl so that I can have everything all together. And 2. Set that aside for now. Now we're going to start up the fire, nice and hot. And then right away, while it's still heating up, we're just going to very slowly add the sugar to the water and keep stirring. Little bits at a time, till it's totally dissolved and clear. Now I've heard people say you don't have to heat it up, and I've heard people say you should bring it to a boil, but we're gonna get right there in the middle and do a little of both by warming it up, but as soon as it starts to bubble, we're going to take it off the heat and let it get back to room temperature. We're just constantly stirring so nothing sits on the bottom and burns. And you'll see it turns from this kind of cloudy color to where it just looks like you're stirring around a bucket full of water. It's already getting clear. Everything's real nice and dissolved. And we're just going to keep stirring it gently till we just start to get a boil on the bottom. More a simmer, really. Get in there, you can see it's all dissolved, just some bubbles on the bottom. But you shouldn't have any cloudiness. You shouldn't be able to see too much of anything. Once it's all dissolved, just look like water. Now if we peek in here again, you can see what I'm talking about. We're just starting to get little bubbles there on the bottom. That's it, we're done. We'll turn off the heat. Move this off the burner we used and into the back. And let that totally cool off. It'll take about 45 minutes, but it can just sit there unless you're going to use the stove, in which case move it to the counter or whatever. But you don't have to do anything from this point on. With 2 cups of sugar and 8 cups of water, it should perfectly fill up that 2 liter that we decorated earlier. We're just going to let it cool. When it is cool, we'll come back and show you what to do next. Alright, and now that it's all cooled down and room temperature, we can put it into our 2 liter. Put a little funnel in there and very carefully and now you can see pretty much filled it right up to the top. Now we're going to stick this in the fridge, let it get nice and cool, and tomorrow we'll fill up the hummingbird feeders. Alright, it's time to fill up our hummingbird feeders. Everything's nice and chilled. Now, with hummingbird feeders, you don't need to add any red food coloring. All that's important is that you have a little bit of red on the feeder itself, and that should be enough to attract them. We've had lots of different types of hummingbird feeders. Glass, plastic, flat, big, small. But the most important part, especially in the summertime, is that it can hold a lot of juice. Otherwise, you're going to be filling it up basically every day. So with these, fill it up right up to the line. Screw the top on. Make sure it's nice and tight. Give it a flip. You can see it fill up. And then we're going to do that one more time. With these particular feeders, a full 2 liter like we made is going to basically fill up but 2 of them all the way to the top. Just a little bit left over. Look at all that good old pollen for springtime. Shouldn't hurt too much anything. Then, with these little guys, they hook on and float above the hummingbird feeder. Put a little bit of fresh water in here, and it'll keep bugs out of it. So now, let's go hang them up.